Fable. You guys know when it comes to Fable, I'm like one of the biggest simps in the industry, man. I do nothing but simp for this damn game. I should probably stop doing it. I'm just a huge Fable fan. I've actually been streaming the original Fable over on the Addict Arena. If you go check that in the description below. So any kind of news involving Fable, I got people from every corner of the internet just blowing my shit up. Addict, what's going on here? Addict, does this give you more hope or less hope or whatever? And I'm like, yo, let's talk about it. So for those of you that don't know, Fable is made by Playground Games. They're the people that also make Forza Horizon. So according to an article by Windows Central, so we're going to go pop over here and look at this. It's actually looking like the developers of Forza Horizon Fable at Xbox appear to be getting a third studio. But for what? Well, what does that mean? Obviously, they're getting a third studio, but that could mean a lot of things. For instance, there are studios at every company, like, you know, these platform holders, that don't necessarily make games. All they really necessarily do is just, like, assist. So let's go ahead and read and see exactly what this means. What you need to know. Playground Games is the studio behind the massively popular Forza Horizon franchise. Playground Games expanded by opening a second studio in 2017 before being acquired by Microsoft in 2018. They're the ones that's making Fable. Playground Games is also working on a new Fable game, which is slated to arrive at the point in 2025. Now, I know people aren't going to like this next statement, but for the culture, for the history, I love what they renamed this second studio that's working on Fable to Lionhead Studio. I know they ain't doing that, and I know that is ridiculous that I even want that. But that's what I want, so I'm going to stick to it. According to the update, Playground Games LinkedIn page, the team has now expanded to 3 teams. The teams behind some of the biggest games are getting even bigger. Playground Games now approaches 3 studios as seen on the company's LinkedIn page. This third studio is apparently assisting with the development of Fable, the upcoming reboot of the classic light-hearted Xbox role-playing game. Today, Playground Games has 3 world-class studios in Leamington Spa. The company describes reads in our original HQ, we need to support and grow the huge, vibrant Horizon community. In our new studios on the other side of town, we are excited to be developing Fable, a new beginning of the legendary franchise. So, you know, pretty much like let's go back to here. All right, so here's my take on this. Is this big? Yes. In a lot of ways, it shows that Microsoft is putting even more resources behind the Fable brand. Is this studio going to make like its own unique IP or its own games in general? I don't know. You know, sometimes when these type of things happen, what ends up going down is after a certain amount of time, they will go ahead and give them the opportunity to make something. But we don't know at this point. I would say for the foreseeable future, this particular game or this studio is just going to be doing support stuff. I don't think they're going to be necessarily making any new IPs. I don't think that means that that's not out of the question. Because like I said, sooner or later, they're probably going to get some form of, you know, a green light on maybe a smaller title that eventually leads to them making bigger titles, depending how that game does. But I do feel like the people that are overblowing this, saying that this is like amazing, I think it's in the middle. I think this is good for Fable because that means there's 2 studios currently working on Fable. And you guys know how I feel. You know, right now I'm playing through Fable 1, 2, and 3 again. And then I'm going to make a video talking about what I want from Fable, whatever this is, reboot or Fable 4. You know, to me, I can't really tell you guys what I want from Fable unless I play the Fable games again and like get a fresh perspective, especially going into 2024. Some of the concepts that worked back in the day when Fable 1, 2, and 3 came out would not work in today's market. And I think we all kind of know that. Fable is one of those IPs that I truly believe, done right, can compete with the Witcher game or can compete with, you know, the masses in terms of RPG. It's got to be done right. There's so many aspects of Fable that I feel Microsoft's actually looking into. You know, we've known about this game for a long time, and we are getting to the final, push. I mean, you could argue between now and a year from now, I'm finally going to get to know what's going on with Fable. And I'm excited about that. When I play Fable next year, it's going to be one of those momentum things for me because it's one of the biggest games I've been waiting for a long time. Like, and when I tell you guys, I knew Fable was coming before it was actually broadcasted. I just didn't know when it was going to get announced. And I remember sitting here looking at this and just saying, man, it low-key feels like Fable is an illusion. It's never going to happen. I do think once this studio helps them get Fable to the promised land and that game officially comes out, then I'm curious what the current Fable team's going to be doing. Maybe they will actually start working on DLC and this third studio will start working on a smaller IP, or maybe the Fable team will go to another Fable while that smaller studio works on DLC. They can also, the moment Fable is finished, they can put their attentions on the next Horizon. It's a support studio to me right now. Doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. Support studios are famous for making smaller IPs that really grab people's attentions. And I do think more jobs in this industry is good. We're like right now we're seeing some of the worst, expansion / despansion that we've ever seen in the gaming industry. The gaming industry, it's very, very obvious that it's in some of the worst state we've seen it in a long time. And I'm kind of glad that we're seeing more jobs open up because it's rough out there, guys. It's rough out there. But when it comes to this particular thing, yes, Playground Games is getting a third studio. Probably already have the third studio. Yes, this studio is going to be helping on Fable currently. That's probably because they're trying to get Fable out the door. It's on the last year of production. I would say it's probably got 6 months before the game is officially done. That's if the game comes out in 2025. It could easily get pushed back to 2026. I hope not. I don't think so. Because I feel like that game is in development for a very, very long time. So it would make sense it comes out in 2025. I personally feel like we're going to see Fable at that June showcase next year when they show the games that's coming out the year after that. Because that's what it seems like. The biggest games, the biggest game that they have the most faith in, they put in that showcase afterwards. That's just my opinion on the matter. Now, I understand this year they're showing Call of Duty. They showed it. But to me, I think that was an exception, not the rule. I think mainly it's going to be dedicated to the biggest game that comes out. And you can make an argument that Call of Duty is the biggest game every year. But I do think Call of Duty needs its own, event, its own platform. Call of Duty is a platform in its own. Warzone, one of the biggest games in the industry. Call of Duty in general, one of the biggest games in the industry. It needs its own thing. It doesn't need to be sharing it with all the other Xbox games. Because to me, only showing Call of Duty at those showcases is something I don't want particularly. But anyway, what you guys think? You think this is good news? I think it's good news for Fable. Maybe we'll get some cool little IPs. What I would like, and this is just me, and I know this is probably not going to happen, I would like for this smaller studio to make an updated Fable 2. And that drops a couple months before Fable, the new Fable comes. I think that would be cool. But anyway, put in the comment section below what you guys feel. I'm very curious to your guys' opinion on this. Definitely sub to the channel. We make weekly content on here. You can always catch me on Twitter at Lord Addict IOP. And you can always catch me over there on the other YouTube channel, Gaming Addict Arena, where I stream games, talk about stuff every week. Hope you guys enjoy that. But until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.